What is up, guys? I am back with a video. It has been a minute. I am sipping on some pre-workout. I am not going out into the wild to do a run. I'm going in to do a lift. It's been the off season. I haven't been running as much. I'm going to share all of that with you as we go through this workout. But first, let's crush this. Let's get in. Let's lift some weights. Yeah, so we are back, not in the running environment. Not gonna lie, guys, I've been a little bit unmotivated to get out and run. So I've been falling back on my trusty first love, which is strength training. I know I haven't really posted anything since failing the sub 3 hour marathon. I know I briefly mentioned I'd be putting out some more content, which hasn't really come. I've actually been dealing with a bit of an injury that I've been working through, and that's part of also why I haven't really ramped up too much running as of late. The injury is getting better, however, it is kind of, like most injuries, being a little bit more annoying than I would like it to be. And I think that is also like hindering my motivation to get out and run, because I can't really run the way that I want. If you guys have been paying attention to my Strava, which I haven't really been super active on, I probably run 2 to 3 times a week. I think my weekly kilometers are around 30K, probably less than that, just having not run very much, which is something that I want to improve. I want to get back into running more, but what I've realized is there's going to be ebbs and flows of these periods of motivation. And for me, I think right now the key is staying training. So I posted on my Instagram the other day a little bit about how I try to do that when things aren't really the best. So for me right now, I'm training 3 times a week in the gym minimum, running 2 times a week minimum. And as long as I get that, I am going to be happy. I've been dabbling in a couple other things to try to keep me motivated. So I've been obviously back in the gym, been doing some high rocks style workouts. I've been running a little bit with the run club. So still doing the things that I need to be doing, but it's not as like motivated and as fired up as I was when I was putting all the content out for, trying to go sub 3 at the Toronto Marathon. Now, this doesn't mean that I'm done, that I'm not gonna try and go sub 3. I definitely am. I'm definitely gonna keep up the goal of trying to qualify for the Boston Marathon, but it might just look a little bit different as I work my way back. So I wanted to try to record this video. I also got a GoPro, so I'm playing with recording on the GoPro. So that's also another reason why I want to put this vlog out. But I'm going to take you through a little strength workout that I'm going to be doing, and you guys get a little insight into what that looks like for me. So we're going to start with bench press. Let's do it. So a little thing about me, I shared this on one of my other YouTube videos about how I went from 260 pounds to what I'm doing now with marathon running, all that fun stuff, kind of my journey. So one thing that will always remain in my heart forever is bench press. Being a former football player, the benchmark of repping 225 was always like the main thing that we would be training for. And as a young man, getting in the gym and doing bench press was like the best thing. So today you get a little sneak peek into probably my first love, which is bench press. Got me into really training hard. So you're gonna see me participate in benching some heavyweight today. I'm gonna get warmed up here. Work to maybe a heavy 3. Probably do like some sets of 5, then some sets of 3. see how we feel. Nothing too formal. All right, so I'm gonna dive into first working set, warm my way up. We're gonna aim 225, 4-5. Let's do it. Okay, definitely harder than I thought. It's crazy because in my life, one time I benched 225 for 18 reps. It is so crazy to me that one, I was 260 pounds, so that helps, but the body adapts to the demands you put upon it. Like, I think about hitting 225 for 5. At one point in my life, I did 18. Think about running. In October, I was on pace to run a sub 3-hour marathon through 35K. And now getting out and actually thinking about running 1 to 2K at sub 3-hour marathon pace seems almost impossible. It's this kind of thing that actually just really makes me realize how adaptable and amazing the human body is. Like, it's super crazy. It's never too late to try something new. It's never too late to adapt your body, push yourself, get stronger, get faster, get fitter. The body truly is an amazing thing. All right, didn't want to bore you guys, but we hit 3 sets, 225 for 5. I am going to show you the top set. We're going to try to go 245 for 3. I usually will have music, but I don't want to get copyrighted with the music in the background, but I've been jamming to Big X the Plug on my workouts. Honestly, increases bench press by 10%, no doubt. Whoa. Woo. All right, that was definitely a grind. Not the most pretty reps, but definitely happy with that being top set. I definitely wouldn't recommend doing this much weight without a spotter unless you're really confident in yourself. But yeah, I don't recommend that. Probably not safe. But onto some shoulder press. As I prepare for shoulder press, I wanted to just share a little bit with you guys about my injury. So I'm a physiotherapist, been one for about 5 years. I've really started to work with a lot of runners in the rehab space. I've learned from probably the best run-related rehab clinicians out there, Chris Johnson and Nathan Carlson. Big mentors of mine. I've taken their courses. I've learned a lot from them. I've consulted with them. And so after the marathon, I was having some weird pain in my thigh. Something that didn't feel necessarily muscular, didn't feel nerve, only really bothered me when I was running or jumping. And then kind of reflecting on just the year and the amount of volume that I put in and the ramping up in intensity and pushing for 2 big marathon PRs, as well as running a business and trying to do my thing in life. Definitely a more stressful year this year on my body. And a lot of those things can be a recipe for some type of stress reaction and or possible bone stress injury. And that's what I was worried about. And the troublesome thing is that they're hard to diagnose. You really need to get an MRI. And if you guys are in Canada, you know how hard that can be to get a referral, to get an MRI, to get even physicians to consider an MRI for a bone stress injury is something that I find really hard. I've had clients who I've had to really advocate for on that front to get them imaging to then show that there is a bone stress injury. It's just one of those things that people don't know a lot about. Even in the physio space, like we don't learn a ton of it in school. Like a lot of the extracurricular learnings that I did was what allowed for me to be better at treating and identifying these injuries. So I was worried that that's what I had. And I think I did have some type of stress reaction happening after consulting with Nathan, taking him through my story, what I was dealing with. He probably agreed. I don't think it was a full-on stress fracture. I probably won't know unless I actually get some imaging. But now that we're removed from the race a couple months, I am on the mend. And a big part of the rehab for bone stress related injuries, once you are cleared to weight bear, is loading, strength training, and then return to run. The reason why these injuries are so important to identify is that they are one of the few injuries where you do not want to continue to run on a bone stress injury because it could lead to some pretty catastrophic outcomes, especially depending on where the bone stress reaction or fracture is. There's high risk areas, medium risk areas, low risk areas. Regardless, you don't want to be running on this. It's very different than a tendon or a nerve or a joint where you could probably push through that and not be worried that you are going to get to a worse place or a catastrophic, let's say, situation, whereas for a bone stress, you can. And that's what I was worried about. So I took a little bit off running. I slowly started to reintroduce. I've been strength training a lot more. I'm still having a little bit of a slow process getting back into running. It's not around my what I thought was my bone stress site, but I'm having some hip flexor discomfort, some tightness, and honestly just not super motivated to get out and run in the winter. So it's been a bit of a struggle on that front, but I just want to give you guys a little context on that because obviously like I was putting out a ton of content, going hard in the running. It was a big part of what I was doing in my life at that point. And that is still going to be something that I'm going to push, but right now I'm kind of in a different season of recovering from that, trying to stay motivated, trying to stay strength training, trying to stay healthy. And I'll probably share a little bit with you guys about some of my goals for 2025. I'm thinking that it's going to look a little different for me this year than maybe last year. Last year was a big push on my physical goals. This year might be a little bit of a different approach with still obviously pushing my body and challenging myself, but thought I'd give you guys a little context on that because I haven't really shared too much about it. It's just been a crazy time from a business standpoint, and I haven't really got to create some content around it, and two, not really sure the best way to share it because there's a lot of nuance that goes into these injuries, and I know that, and I want to try to share that the best that I can, but I don't know the best way to create it and share it with you guys. So I thought I'd just give you a little bit of a snippet of that. And now we're going to get into some shoulder press. Just another reason why I haven't been posting as much content is for the movement, which is my business with my two business partners. I create a lot of the content, so I've been really working hard on increasing our YouTube presence. So I've been putting a lot of my effort into making rehab injury related content there. So if you guys want to check that out, I'd really appreciate it. I've put out some YouTube videos sharing some of the things that we do here at the movement, how we approach injuries, and I hope to share a lot more. As I get into the strength training session, we created a really funny video called Why Strength Training and Running Go Together Like Peanut Butter and Jam, and we kind of break down some of the reasons and barriers why runners don't strength train in a kind of a funny way where we dressed up in some suits and had a good time with it. I think it's really relevant to anyone watching this who is a runner and doesn't know where to start with strength training. As I go through this session here, I've spent a lot of time in my career learning about strength training, how to implement it, how to get stronger before I ever got into running. So I have a good knowledge in that realm. I think it can be really helpful. So you guys should check that out. It's super funny and it'll give you an idea of some of the content that I've been creating outside of this page. But We're gonna get into some push-ups. So as I start to put the wrap up on this strength workout, just want to say I hope you guys had a good end to your year. I honestly really had such a blast putting out that content this whole year. It's funny, when I created the very first YouTube video, which I'll link here, you guys can check it out if you hadn't seen it, I kind of highlighted all the races that I wanted to hit with the ultimate goal of going sub 3 hours at Toronto, which obviously I missed. But it's been really fun for me to document the year and now go back and look at all the stuff that I did throughout 2024. And I hope you guys do the same. If you haven't documented it like I have, I hope you take some time to reflect on everything that you've accomplished, maybe some of the things you didn't, and reflecting as to why and how you can improve on them to accomplish it the next time. But this time of year, as I record this, it's Christmas Eve. Merry Christmas. It's important to make sure you reflect on the things that you've done, highlight them, enjoy them, and then set yourself up for the next year. I've spent a lot of time in my life not reflecting and enjoying a lot of the positives that have come out of the things that I put myself through. I often focus on the failures and the negatives and how I can improve, which I think is a good thing. I think it's allowed for me to have success and keep pushing myself forward. But I hope you guys take some time to reflect on all the amazing things you did this year. Take some time to think about 2025 and what you want to accomplish, and know that I'm gonna be putting some content out in 2025. I don't know exactly what it's gonna look like. I don't even know exactly what my goals are, but I will make sure when I do figure that out, I will share it with you guys and make sure that you know. So I'm gonna finish up on a last set of supine bar row here. I'm gonna wrap the video up. Thanks so much for coming along for the ride, guys. I know I haven't put it out in a while. I just wanted to show you a little bit of the strength exercise that I'm doing. Check in with you guys, put a video out. Try recording on the GoPro. Hopefully it turned out okay. So the GoPro died on me. I was trying to get it in, but as I was saying, guys, thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks for subscribing. Check out the other channel. Check me out on Strava. Check me out on Instagram. I am gonna be putting stuff out throughout 2025. I hope you guys have a wonderful Christmas, a wonderful holiday, a wonderful new year, and we'll see you in 2025. Let's go. Make sure you guys are getting after it, enjoying the wins that you had, reflecting on the wins, but as always, making sure that you're digging deep. We'll catch you in the next one. Peace.